welcome to A Father's Note. One voice, one strength, all man. We're certainly glad that you took the time out to visit us. I'm your host, Lionel Nelson. We ask that you please feel free to like, share, comment on this video. So what we're going to be doing, our guest tonight really is we're going to be discussing about their experience of growing up without a father, what that experience is like. So we hope that you absolutely are blessed and inspired, or get some good nuggets from this interview that we're going to have tonight. So we're going to ask that he would come on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now this guy, this young man here might look familiar to some of you all. Of course, none other than I tell you, the very accomplished Mr. Desmond Jones. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell our audience something about you?
Well, my name is Desmond Jones. I'm from Miami, born and raised in Miami, both parents American. I'm the first boy my mom had. I have seven siblings. Right. I'll be 26 November 26. So yeah.
All right.
And I love art.
And you love art. Yeah, you gotta tell us something. Okay, so again, most of us may know, but for those who don't know, what's your background? What you mentioned about art. I mean, what's your background? Tell us something about your background as far as what you do as far as work. Or,
Go
ahead. As far as work.
So as far as work, I design shoes. at Fabrice Tardio. I've been doing that for about a year. Before that, I was working in the mall doing retail, and I enjoyed it. And I was like, prior to that, I always wanted a design job because, I wanted to design women's shoes. Right now, I'm designing men, but eventually I get to doing women's shoes like I hope for one day.
Right.
And and I also own my own business, which is called Art is Dope, and I've been for a while now, probably about 4-5 years. We're doing, well, not even 4, 16. So yeah, 4 years. Okay. I've been doing Art is Dope, but it actually just started, getting some traction this year.
Okay. So I see you there in the studio getting ready to work on some projects, huh? Working on
projects? Yeah.
Okay.
Coming on collaboration with Bel Air. So I've been designing models lately.
Do you have one you want to share with the audience?
Well, I'm working on this one right now. This would be like floral print. But the other ones, they are in the other room. They're drying. So,
all right. So what you do, you put your Art is Dope signature on the bottle. Basically, that's what you do.
Correct.
In essence, you are oh God, what's the word? You're advertising the name brand, huh?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's get into this here. So Art is Dope is your company name. Okay. And you do art, especially mainly on clothing, correct?
Yes, mainly on clothing. Well, and shoes too.
Okay, you're right, in shoes. You also have done cleats for football players.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, their own designs, whatever they asked for. I think you did a pair of cleats for Trayvon Martin, right?
Yeah, the Trayvon Martin Foundation, I had, me and my friend, we got together, Anthony Walker, who plays for the Indianapolis Colts, plays linebacker. We did a Trayvon Martin theme custom cleat for him, and we got it to the foundation. Yeah, we did quite a few things with Trayvon Martin, especially when I collaborated with Puma, and I actually got a chance to meet his parents again, because prior to that, me and Trayvon played on the same team, so we met up there at Puma event, and she was happy to see me, and I was there as well.
That's great. That's great. So let's get into talking about the subject matter tonight. such as growing up without a father. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You want to just give us a little bit on this? Let's say, what age were you when you realized that you did not have a father in your life?
Well, I'm going to say, well, my grandpa told me that, like, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, he told, but I ain't really, it didn't really hit me. Like, the after effects didn't hit me until like 13. 13
Okay.
was, yeah. But when I was 4 years old, my grandpa told me that I told him that, well, daddy gone, grandpa. So now you my daddy. And he always tell me that and he'd be like, oh, you done got grown, you don't come see me. Yeah. He was like, I remember when we was at after the funeral, he was like, daddy gone, now you my dad.
Okay, so you saying that you didn't really realize that the absence of your father until you was 13, but he had been gone since you were 4?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So what, do you have any idea what happened to him, or?
Oh, well, he was actually killed. He was killed by
Oh,
someone.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Killed.
Wow. So
Yeah.
did you in that process, let's just say even in that 4 years, was it enough time? Did you spend enough time with him to know anything about him or who he was?
No, I didn't. I really didn't. I remember like my child, like sometimes childhood memories play back where, jet skis and that, but as far as like remembering him, nah, I heard stories of how I used to act
Right.
when he came to the house. Like I would knock all the blinds out the window, and I was very like clingy to him.
So in the medium of that time, from 4 to 13, when you finally realize, you know what, I don't have a father here. Okay, what did your mother do in regards to that situation and you growing up without a father? What was some of her actions that she took?
My mom was, I give credit to my mom. She was real good, and I feel like she did a good job far as setting good men before me,
Okay.
because she knew like that's the type of mom. My mom was like, well, I know I can't raise you, so you gonna hang around some men, and some of those men were uncles. Some of those men were football coaches. I always played football, so a lot of like my behavior and how I carry myself come from like football coaches, such as Coach Mario, Coach Walker, all them from Pace. It kind of was like the model that was set before me.
That's good.
She always made sure it was a positive male figure, or made sure I was around males, role models.
So in essence, she understood her role and how much she can do as far as making sure that you was raised as a man. So therefore, she did that. What she knew she could do was put you in the environment where there was positive men who can speak into your life, correct?
Right.
Well, you got company there or something, bro? See, keep looking out the window. I know you be trying to make that money there. I know, man. I don't want to interrupt that now.
You good.
Okay, all right. So when you found out that you did not have a father at 13, okay, what effect did it have on you? Would you say that it had on you, or did it have any effect?
13, I was just that part of my life, around that age, I was like full of anger, anxiety. I have panic attacks out of nowhere. I just ain't feel like I knew like what to do in life. I always found myself getting in trouble, or can't really pay attention. Very forgetful, rebellious, always going against the grain. I wasn't like super bad, but I was bad. Like I was bad enough to where if I kept on that path, I would be, messed up, going astray.
And you think that a lot of that had been because of the absence of your father?
Yeah, I know for sure it had, because I always imagined a lot of my childhood had to do with imagining if he was there. So I
Okay. Mhm.
so I always be thinking on that. So whatever was in forefront, it'd kind of just be like, it's there, but I'm still thinking about life with him.
Right.
So I feel like that kind of like took my focus off of the things that I should have been worrying about, especially at being such a young age,
Mhm.
you know. And my mom, she had to work, so she really wasn't present. I knew she wasn't present because she was trying to, provide for us,
Right.
fulfill that role that that a dad should have been fulfilling, you know. So I found myself just being distracted and trying to fit in with everything.
Did it bother you seeing other? Now you mentioned that you played football. Did it bother you seeing other of your teammates, fathers or parents there, and your father not there? Did that bother you at all?
Yeah, it did. It bothered me tremendously. Like real bad, where I got to a point where I didn't want to even live anymore because I was like, well, everybody's dad here, my dad not here. I'm playing good, so it was like depressing and sad.
Mhm.
Even when I had like a good game, I still feel down because that one person that I know, or how I seen the other fathers react to
Mhm.
their son after they had a good game, I felt
Wow.
like I was missing that.
Wow. 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 Even
Yeah.
though you may have had other coaches that believed in you, who was mentoring you, who encouraged you, but just the absence of your father still had an effect on you.
Right, right. Uh-huh.
So at what age were you when you have gotten to the point where it's that you learn how to live with the absence of your father, the fact that he would not be ever coming back or returning? What was your substitute? At what age, first of all, what would you say when you finally got over it, if you have gotten over it?
I would say, I still have my battles here and there. But as far as like um realizing like that he wasn't coming back,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, seeing better for myself, my getting myself mentally, right and stable so that I can do things on my own.
Right.
So I would say I was probably like 16, 17. But I remember one night when I was 13, I was depressed and I wanted to take my life. My grandma came over and she prayed over me. And from that day, I'm not gonna say I ain't struggled, but
Mm-hmm.
I found a purpose to live again. I felt it was like, okay, he gone, but what am I gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta better myself. I got a whole life to live. I'm only 13. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm gonna live for God. And then uh also being in church, that really helped me,
Mm-hmm.
realize that I have no control over anything in life.
Right. Right.
Everything is in his hands.
Right.
So and I don't really know, you don't know what's going to happen. You just know that I just know that I gotta trust God every day.
Mm-hmm. So
And
so then you're a Christian then. You accepted Christ in your
yeah,
life.
I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian.
How
Yeah.
long have you been a Christian? And what age were you when you say you accepted Christ in your life?
True. Well, I accepted Christ. Well, I accepted Christ when I was a little boy because I come from a church background.
Right.
But for my own relationship
Right.
with God, that happened when I was like 13, when I had that encounter.
Okay.
And I started to really see like, dang, all this peace I felt. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see God more because
Wow.
his presence felt good. So I was like, I need this to live. So when you, I don't know about you, but when you need something to live, you depend on it. You're gonna find out more about this God, that everybody's saying. Because I heard and I seen people shouting in church as a little boy, but I ain't really experienced God to the point where I was like, let me get up and shout, let me get up and praise, let me sing a worship song.
Right.
But then you have an encounter with God, that's when you will start to realize, like, I need to give him praise. He is valuable. He is a necessity in my life.
So are you saying that once you gave your life or surrendered your life to God, that filled the void of your absent father to an extent?
Yes, it has. I also had to, do the things naturally as well, because I feel like emotions, like sometimes my spirit is up, but sometimes, the enemy want to come back with depression and old thoughts and like try to get me off of my, get my focus off track.
Right.
But I remember, like, I got the mind of Christ. I'm strong in the Lord and the power of his might, and I keep going. I feel like that's the Christian walk. It's not easy, but you get up every day and you say, God, you direct my path. You have control over my mind. I dedicate this day to you, Father. So, yeah.
So let me ask this question. It's not to attempt to be a trick question, but I'm just curious. Did you ever at one time in your life blame your father for not being there?
Nah, not really. I blame God.
Wow, that's an interesting
Yeah.
response. And why is that?
Because, when I was young and you in church, you think God is a genie. So we think of him like, God, you got the power. You should have saved him that day. You should have took the gun away from that person. Like, this a little kid thinking, like,
Wow,
you
right.
should have, I don't know. Like, I was just thinking of all the things that could have happened that he'll still be here. And, we try to play God in our life and be like, well, you could have did this or you could have did that. But you don't know. I don't know what my dad did prior to that. Or, Apostle always say something, God put us here. The man is in control. He gave us authority and dominion on earth. He gave us dominion and authority on earth. So all the decisions that happen here, or all the bad things that happen here, is at the hands of men. It's not God.
He did give us authority. He did give man authority, and for him to intervene in any way without the permission of man, it would be a violation to his word, to himself.
Right, because he gave us free will.
He gave us free will. That's correct. So now, we know that you're an artist. You also, you being a Christian, you sing on the praise team in the church.
Yeah, sing on the praise team as well.
Right. So in essence, pardon me?
I said I've been doing that for a couple of years.
Right. So in essence, though, you are not making the absence of your father an excuse for you not to live your life, basically.
Yeah, I can't. It's too much. And I feel like I got this assignment on my life, to bring hope. And that's why everywhere I go, I want to bring hope, and I want to instill truth and light, and I want to, be positive and let people know that you can make it if you chase your dreams. You can't make it if you trust God. You can't make it if you just work the gift that God gave you.
That's good. So if I have one more question I want to ask, but let's go here. So before I get to that question, so you also act, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
And the reason that I say that because you acted in a play, a production entitled "A Shattered Love."
Right.
And I have a poster of here. Yeah.
Yeah, there I go right there.
He right there. So, as some of our audience may know that that was production about a small family, a father, a mother, and a wife, a father, a mother, and a son. Okay, only son. And the day before his graduation, his father life was taken. Okay. And of course, that's a production that the Lord has really blessed me to be able to put on. But you came in, you accepted it, and it didn't dawn on me at the time that uh, you pretty much, because I didn't really know the whole extent of what transpired around your father.
Yeah.
But I have to say, you came in and you did an excellent job out the gate. But there was something that in past conversation that we had that you said was that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you were able to make that part you played of a son whose father was just suddenly taken away from you come to realization in real life because you reflected back on the memories of your own father. Is that
Right.
correct?
That's what really helped me, because I knew all the stages and all the emotions. Excuse me.
Mhm.
So I knew how to reenact it. It really wasn't kind of acting for me. It was an experience, you
So
know?
you actually lived it. You actually was able to live and to express those feelings of a son whose father is not there or was suddenly taken away from, especially when you have established a good relationship with your father. So you
Right.
were able to really express that throughout their production.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good. So,
It was
Piper, go ahead. I'm sorry.
very touching.
You really slayed the part, man. You slayed the character. I have to really understand it. I really commend you. And I think that personally, it really showed and reflect a lot of strength in yourself and to do that and then the thing of it is, even in you performing it, you still maintain your sanity. You still maintain who you were. And I guess you would account all of that, a lot of that being to your relationship with God then.
Right. You need God. I need God.
Okay, good. So listen, I know you got to get back to work. So, but in my final question, I would like to ask you, what would you say to other young men who are experiencing what you have experienced, or whether or not, no matter what their age is, well, what would you say to them? Who other men such as yourself who is growing up without a father, their mother is working, doing all that she can to take care and provide for that young man. What would you say? What words of advice would you give them?
Well, first I would say, um, you know, your life isn't over just because, you lose a loved one. You still have, more life and more potential. You still have potential in yourself. You don't have to be a part of the statistic, that the world has set out there for young boys who lose their father at young ages. Um, and that you can overcome is, and also I would say get around people who's going somewhere. Get around older men who you would consider established or well-groomed men, and men who take care of their family. Just hardworking men as well. That's one thing I would say. My mom always made sure I was doing something. She
Okay.
made sure I was busy, like summer camp, like going to learn how to swim, skatering, all types of stuff, like football. She
Mhm.
had me on all types of stuff. So make sure you're busy, because you don't want to give yourself downtime, and next thing you know, you're joining gangs and you're trying to be a part of a gang, and you're trying to become someone who you're not, and you're
Yeah.
trying to fit into every mold that's available or that you see. Every group and every crew is not for you. that's one of the things I kind of struggle with, which I'm grateful for my mom for taking me out of public school, you know, and putting me into private. I was just trying to be cool and hang around everybody and do this and do that, you know, because I really had no structure, you know.
So even though mom, but it sounds like what you're saying though, even though mom was very busy as far as work, providing for her family, she still made sure that she gave time to you to make sure that you stayed busy and stayed away where you would not be in a position where it's that it will allow you to go and connect and venture into other areas in which that she deemed was just not prosperous in a positive manner for you.
Yeah, she made sure, like, you know, me, I love art. So she would buy me sketchbooks and I'd be drawing at the table all day, you
Right.
know, different comic books. I'm drawing always because I love drawing. That was kind of like my therapy. And that's why I like named my brand Art is Dope. That was like my therapy, or, you know, what released dopamine, you know, in my in my body. It made me feel good because that was one of the things God gave me that gift. And while doing that gift, I felt good doing it. So I feel like he gave me that gift for a reason, you know.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. So anything else you'd like to share with our young men?
Get around people who's going somewhere.
Right. Okay.
Put God first. I will also say, find the thing that you love.
Right.
Whether it's a trade, cooking, art, whatever it is that you love, you find that, you study it, and you make it work for you.
Right.
You know,
right.
And connect with the right people. That's the key.
Don't make excuses. Just do it.
And don't make excuses. You can't. No, hey, Mark.
Well, hey, listen. Well, while you're here, last day, go ahead and promote your brand because I think you have some merch, right?
Yeah, I have merch. I actually have this hat, the bucket hat, the Art is Dope bucket hat. I have some shirts, some shorts. The Love is
you don't
color.
have none of it there? You don't have none of it there?
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I got socks. This is the pink and white socks, the Art is Dope socks. I have them in black and white, lilac. I also have the Love is Colorblind short.
Right. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
I like that jacket that you
website actually, www.artistdope.shop, and you'll see a lot of my merchandise on there. And you can follow me on Instagram @_artistdope.
So now, to tell you the truth, you are a success story. Okay. And even though you grew up without a father, I'm sure the audience can see that with the help of your mom, making sure that you was guided in the right direction, making sure that you was associated with positive men. You mentioned about men who worked, men who took care of their family. She kept you active in
all the time,
all the time in different activities. Okay, and then here it is though, at 26, you have established a business for yourself. I think that's awesome, man. I think that's very, very awesome. Okay. And anyway, I was going to go someplace else, but I'm going to leave that one there. I'm going to let that one there hang there.
Hey, and one other thing too, I would say for the young man young men who are up in age, or you dating, get you a good girl, a godly woman, a nice woman, a woman who's classy, and that lifts you up, because that really does pay. That really does play a significant role. That played a significant role in my life.
That's good. Got to have a good woman, man. Hey, but listen, hey, thank you, Mr. Artist Dope. Appreciate you.
No
Come
problem. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
I know it's a short notice, but I certainly appreciate you coming on. And listen, may God continue to bless you, man, and just stay focused, man, with what you're doing. You're doing a great job. Okay.
I
Thank you
will
again.
appreciate it.
I want to thank all our audience for visiting us. Please like, share, comment on this video. And we want to just do some great things. Again, we're here to promote men. We're here to promote fathers. We're here to promote young men such as Mr. Desmond. And we just want to be an example or put out there's an example of, we have some young men that are doing it the right way, that are striving. They are not using excuses for anything as far as to hinder them from their success. We do have some other video interviews, lined up for you that we're going to be coming on, having on here. So just stay tuned. I do apologize for the constant shifting nights, but there's some things that are beyond our control. But nevertheless, though, we're here. We're not going anywhere. We're going to do this until God say otherwise, okay? So again, thank you for visiting our Father's Note. Thank you to our guest, Mr. Desmond Jones. Everybody, y'all take care. God bless.